you can do lots of cool things with your files inside Bridge in terms of moving them around and duplicating them and managing them and organizing them into folders and all kinds of neat things. And that's what we'll take a look at here. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm just going to sort of clean up my Bridge interface here just a little bit, just by moving these vertical bars that appear on the left and right side all the way to the extreme edges of my monitor, just so we can see everything that there is to see here without too many distractions. All right, now, what I'd like you to do is take a file, any file, doesn't matter which one, try right-clicking on them. And there's lots of commands to talk about here inside these context-sensitive menus, as they call them. Well, first of all, with this particular file that I've chosen to right-click on, I can open them inside Photoshop, or I could say open with. In other words, I could say open this file with Adobe Illustrator, or open it with a web browser, maybe like Opera or something like this, right? Pretty cool. Open in Camera Raw or test in Device Central if you use either of those applications. I can cut them, I can copy them, I can also duplicate them. I can move them to the trash. Oftentimes, when you pull images off of your digital camera, you might have 3 or 4 or 5 images of one particular scene or one particular subject. You want to get rid of a few of them. You can always move those extras to the trash that you don't need anymore. I could say move to, and then I could move my file to a recent folder, or I could copy them to a recent folder as well. I can export them if I want. Sometimes you'll have different connected devices that you could export your graphics to. Now, this next command I love. Here on the Mac, it's called Reveal in Finder. If you're on the Windows side, he'll say Reveal in Explorer. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to go ahead and choose this command here. What it means is, where does this file actually exist on my computer, on my hard drive? Well, it actually opens up here on my Mac a Finder window, my Project Files folder, and there's the file that I had right-clicked on. And I go, oh yeah, that's that file. That's where that's located. So it's a neat way to locate your files on your computer. Anyway, I'll right-click one more time. We've got favorites. We can rename, and we can also batch rename. And there's some additional commands there that you might want to check out on your own there as well, like file info and labeling and all this good stuff. So hopefully that's pretty straightforward. Now, the next thing that I want to do here with you is I want to create a subfolder inside my Project Files folder. And I'll show you how you can move around some files and duplicate files and all that kind of fun stuff. So here's what I'll do. Way up in the top right corner of the Bridge interface, we have a new folder icon, create a new folder. Go ahead and click on that guy. And I'm going to call this guy Extra Images. So you could certainly do this inside your Finder window here on the Mac, or inside an Explorer window if you're on a Windows machine. Or you can do this sort of thing directly inside Bridge, which is great. Now, I've created this Extra Images folder. Now, how do I go about moving images in and out of this folder? Well, it's really easy stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my file here, one of my images, flower.jpg, and I'm simply going to drag and drop that graphic into the Extra Images folder. That's it. Maybe I'll take a few graphics and move them in. Maybe something like this, right? All right, let's go and see what's inside our Extra Images folder now. I'll just double click on them, and now we're inside this Extra Images folder. How do I know? Well, first of all, I know which files I just moved into it, but I can also use my, don't forget your breadcrumb bar up at the top. I'm inside Project Files, inside Extra Images. I could take any of my extra images, right-click on them, and I could copy this guy, for example. That's what I'll do here. And then what I'll do is I'll move back up to my Project Files folder. So in other words, one level up in my directory structure. And then what I'll do is I'll right-click and I'll choose Paste. And now I get fruit.jpg sitting back in the top level directory. So you can copy images, you can duplicate images in this way as well. Let's go and duplicate an image. I'm going to double click on Extra Images here, and I'll take that same file, fruit.jpg, right-click on them. This time I'll choose Duplicate. And now I have a copy of my fruit image. So there's the copy and there's my original, right? You can even do this with multiple images if you want. I'll take flower.jpg, and on the Mac here, I'll hold down my Command key. If you're on a Windows machine, hold down Control and click on your other image, something like this. Right click, and I'll say cut. So in other words, I'm going to move them now, right? So I'm going to choose cut. And then I'll move back up to my project files folder. So again, up one level. This time what I'll do though is I'll use my back arrow inside Bridge. Lots of different ways to do this sort of thing. And then what I'll do maybe from Bridge's edit menu is I'll choose paste. And we should get our images back inside this folder. I'm not seeing them there. That's interesting. Let's go and see if we can find them there. Try this one more time. Right click and cut. And then back one level, right click and paste. There we go. Not sure why it didn't work the first time there, but there's my duotone and my other image that I had in there as well. So all is well here. So you can certainly make use of organizing your files, moving graphics around in this manner as well. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to take my extra images folder, and I've got them selected there, and I'm going to click on the trash can way up in the top right corner of the Bridge interface. And I got a warning here. Are you sure you want to move extra images to the trash? I'm going to say OK, and that's all there is to it.